Memorial. Joining me now is Sir Patrick Vernon OBE, who is chair of the Windrush Anchor Memorial Foundation. Pleasure to speak to you again, Sir Patrick. Firstly, on Windrush Day, if I can talk to you on a personal level, how important is this day for you?
It's personal because my parents were part of that generation that came to Britain in the late 1950s, along with other tens of thousands of people that came from the Caribbean and then other parts of the world like Africa and as well. So it's important to me from a family history perspective, but also, as you know, Shay, I've been busy campaigning. I did a lot of campaigning work for National Windrush Day. And also I've been involved in all aspects of Windrush around the scandal as well. So I've been personally involved in this for quite a while.
And so within that context, I must say, Sir Patrick, I've had the pleasure, genuine pleasure and privilege to speak to you a number of times. And yes, that's why I asked you that question first of how personal it is to you, because we can hear the passion in your voice. This has been a lifelong journey for you. But can I ask you, why now do you believe it is important to recover the Empire Windrush's original anchor? What do you think that would symbolise, let's say, for future generations to come?
Sure. The first thing is there are a number of other monuments that recognise this history. So a couple of years ago, in Waterloo Station, Baroness Benjamin, she unveiled the Windrush statue, which is in a good place in central London. And then in Hackney, where I live, Hackney Council, they've launched two Windrush memorials, and actually one of them won a Turner Prize. And even today, in my hometown where I was born in Wolverhampton, they are unveiling a Windrush memorial, which is tribute to the Windrush ship and the anchor itself. So we have a number of memorials around the country, but what we're doing is something unique. We are actually trying to recover real history. The anchor. So when you see the iconic image of the Windrush ship, with Dr. Tilbury, and you see all the, particularly the men all on the bow of the ship, you see the anchor. So we want to recover the original anchor from the ship. The ship is 3,000 metres at the bottom of the Mediterranean Sea, off the coast of Algeria. It's been there since 1955, and we want to recover that. We believe that this would add value to the existing memorials, but more importantly, this would be, from a historical and architectural perspective, a real monument where people can touch and feel and have that connection with.
It's kind of, from the picture you're painting, Sir Patrick, what comes across to me is it's having something real and tangible of that time that future generations will be able to connect with. If I can just get more of an understanding, because the foundation is aiming to raise just over £2 million for the recovery, for memorial, but also education programs. Talk to me about that. What's the hope around these projects, you know, just on public understanding of the Windrush generation's contribution to Great Britain?
So obviously there's been lots of work, especially over the last several years, by organisations and museums, and in yourself as media, to share this history. So education and educating the public is really important. As you can appreciate, Shay, we're living in challenging times when the level of hate crime and racism has increased for all communities. Particularly for the Jewish community, but also for black and minority ethnic communities. And we believe that this anchor, which is part of British history, the Windrush ship is British history, could bring people together. So if I could take a back step a bit, the ship itself, the original name of that ship was called the Monte Rosa. It was built in the 1930s in Germany by a Jewish shipbuilding company. The ship itself at the time was designated to take Jewish communities from Eastern Europe at the time of increased fascism to start a new life in South America. When Hitler came to power and he confiscated lots of private assets, including the ship, and the ship became a German troop carrier. And right towards the end of the Second World War, it made the journey to Denmark and captured 46 Jewish people and were taken to Auschwitz. And then when we won the war, the ship was renamed the Windrush ship after the river Windrush that flows through Oxfordshire. So the ship has a shared history with the Jewish community as well as with the Windrush generation community. And so we are working across to the communities in terms of fundraising, but also the educational work. We want to recognise the history of the Jewish community pre-Windrush on the ship, as well as the history of the Windrush generation and the pioneers. But also, 4 seamen died when the ship sunk and when it had engine failure. So we want to acknowledge those seamen that also died on the ship as well. So this is it's a British history, it's a history of shared history, and we believe that this will, particularly with the education work that we want to do, to work with schools, we work with the public, to have a better understanding of migration and the contribution of the Windrush generation to Britain.
Can I also ask you, what would you want to say? What would your message be to anyone listening today who, yes, they've heard of the day, Windrush Day. It is now on the calendar for many. They see the particular events that are taking place in London, across the country, but they necessarily don't fully grasp the contributions made from the Windrush generation. What would you want to say to them? Of course, understanding and education is key in breaking down barriers, but are there particular, thoughts that you have on this?
Well, yes. If you go onto our website, I'm also chair of Windrush 100 Network. It's a network of over 500 organisations up and down the country organising Windrush events, not just for today, but actually throughout the whole summer.
For the whole summer.
Even in the autumn, there are some Windrush events. So please go onto the Windrush 100 website, windrush100.org, and get involved. Attend some of the events, learn from this history, contribute to it as well. And it's about recognition, it's about inclusion, as well as celebrating this history as well. So please, Londoners, there are loads of events right across London. Just get involved and please attend and just learn, educate, share as well. And secondly, obviously we're trying to raise money. We're raising £2 million. We want to target the public. We've got a GoFundMe page, which you can make a donation. We don't want any money from the government at all. All we want from the government is just their permission, which we've been liaising with the Ministry of Transport for a number of years to sort out the paperwork around this process. We don't want to accept any money from the government because as you know, equally, Shay, some people see Windrush Day as an opportunity to raise their concerns around the Home Office scandal. So some people have still not been given decent compensation. Some people are fighting for better compensation, better rights. So we feel that the government should focus on giving any public money to support those victims.
And this fundraising will be done separately. I just want to give details because you've mentioned an array of things there. Firstly, the GoFundMe is Monument for the Windrush Generation, if anyone would like details on that. And also it's windrush100.org is the website, and I'm actually on it at the moment. And as you have mentioned there is an array of a list of events that people can